Heavyweight is not my favorite division because I am fat-phobic.
That must be why I hate Derrick Lewis. I'm scared of his fat. I'm phobic of his fat.
No Chick-fil-A sauce? Welcome to the Sports Bimbo podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Stella K.
And I'm Nia Chai.
Okay, being for real though, I'm not fat-phobic. I'm very body positive now, but when I was in school, I wrestled for a little bit. Not pro wrestling, not like WWE, but like the collegiate style wrestling. And I was actually really good. I was like the best in my grade, but they told me that I was a heavyweight, and I was so triggered because this was before body positivity. And I was like a little girl. I'm like, what do you mean I'm a heavyweight? So I quit.
Oh, that is so tough. We needed the body positivity movement just for that. Oh, you know who we needed it for? Ryan Garcia, that fat fuck. 3 pounds overweight.
Ryan Garcia's overweight, and so am I.
He didn't get the belt because of it. Belt wouldn't have fit anyways over his tremendous body size. His obese frame.
Those 3 pounds.
Those 3 pounds. It would not have fit on him.
But I probably fluctuate 30 pounds in any given day, so I feel him.
So does he, apparently.
Very relatable for that.
Speaking of a large and in charge, Derrick, my balls was hot Lewis, has a fight night coming up against Rodrigo Nascimento.
Good job saying that.
Thank you for practicing. Who I don't know too much about Rodrigo. I don't know if you do.
I don't know a lot about him. I do know that he's a lot younger than Derrick Lewis. Derrick
8 years.
Getting up there.
He is getting he's 39 years old, which is one of the oldest, am I wrong? Once they hit 36, they usually start expiring after that.
But I'm out to pasture. I'm just kidding.
Okay, never mind. No more fat jokes.
No, but I mean, what's exciting about a heavyweight is the power. Like, Derrick Lewis has tremendous knockout power. He has the most knockouts in UFC history. I think it's 14. Heavyweights move a little slower, so that is actually why it's not one of my favorite divisions. It's not that I don't like them. I very much like a heavyweight. But I like to see the smaller guys bang. Let me bang, bro. I love that. So I like the speed and the agility. But yeah, the big guys, they have the power, which that's really cool to see.
Yeah, the smaller dudes, they're light on their feet. It's fun to see. It looks like they're on springs. They end up throwing usually more jabs. That is one of the reasons, however, why Derrick Lewis is my second least favorite fighter, is because he is so slow. He's a snooze fest recently. However, when I was looking over his records again, and I was looking over old fights, and of course, he has the most knockouts in heavyweight history. 14 out of 27 wins. That's fucking crazy. That's like over half. I have more respect for him now.
Some good math.
Yeah. No, it is, right? It's half. It's all math. I don't know.
His nickname, the Black Beast. I always feel like I'm going to go to jail for saying that. Like, I'm not, like, I don't want to call him that. Like, I'm saying it now. He made it up, not me.
Right.
But like, I don't want to call him that.
Yeah, I don't feel right about saying the Black Beast.
Yeah, I'm going to give him like the gentle giant teddy bear. My balls was hot.
Yeah, you say, Derrick, my balls was hot, Lewis.
I'm here with the winner, Derrick Lewis. Derrick, why'd you take your pants off? My balls is hot.
I mean, that's how Bruce Buffer needs to announce him.
Jeremy, money for that.
My balls is hot.
Yeah. He's super funny too. There's a lot of really cool like little facts about him as well. He is a sweetie pie as well. If you've watched any of his like after fight interviews, he's fucking hilarious.
I wonder how much longer he's gonna keep going, and also like what's he gonna do after this?
We need to see. This fight night is going to be imperative to how he stays in the UFC, if he decides to keep going.
I know that he has said that one of his passions is pornography, so maybe he'll get into that afterwards. He'll launch the OnlyFans.
Sorry, back up a moment. That's one of his passions, you said?
He said in an interview, they asked him what his passions were, and he said pornography. I don't know if he means
watching or creating.
Yeah, I don't know, but that is a potential avenue. He has
both.
He has an audience. OnlyFans loves to sponsor fighters. Launch the page. I feel like
I'd subscribe.
I think this might be my worst take. I think Derrick Lewis looks like he has a crazy stroke game.
Why?
And I am in no way flirting with him or sexualizing him. I'm not
I am objectifying Derrick Lewis. I want to say it right now.
I'm not like attracted to him like per se. I'm not. I'm just trying not to be rude. I'm not attracted to him. Okay, I'm sorry. Derek. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Derek.
I
mean, I've already called you fat, so I mean, I don't think
you're a great fighter. You're married. You don't need me either. You're not attracted to me either. It's fine. We're heavyweights and we hate each other.
I want to see you two spar.
But I just have like arbitrary criteria. It's a vibe where I will look at a guy and just something he'll do or a movement he'll make, I'll be like, oh, he's got a good stroke.
Start sweating.
No. It's just some of his ground movement. I just knew that there's a crazy stroke.
He's got rhythm.
It was something he did. I was like, oh, I think he can lay the pipe. I don't want it, but it's good for his wife. Like,
great for his wife and whoever he makes porn with.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Do people know this? Is this general knowledge? And I'm just behind?
I don't know.
That's incredible. Yeah, I need to see that for sure.
It's a really funny thing to say. He did talk about retiring 6 years ago.
So how do you go from retired to not retired in less than, 6 months?
The porn industry, they didn't want to hire me back, so I had to find some type of way to get him fight.
Well, you need to work on those camera skills.
No, it wasn't that. It was just the funny noise I make.
Okay, 2 things on that clip. Number 1, he said they didn't want to hire me back, which means he'd done it before. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, I hadn't seen this particular clip. So I saw another interview where he mentioned porn. So clearly this is a thing.
This is a thing. And then he also said, I know he's joking, but he said they won't hire me because of the noise I make.
I mean, maybe people know this, but we don't know this. So someone else doesn't know this. Yeah, he truly has a passion for pornography. And apparently he did retire and come back, but he hasn't talked about retiring lately that I'm aware of.
Mm-hmm. It's because they won't hire him back. He can't retire from UFC.
Maybe he's going to take it all as long as it can go because his passion isn't panning out for him.
Till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, maybe he needs to go into porn camp where he trains not to make the noise.
The noise, what is the noise? Have you heard, I mean, that's usually heavyweights, but when you hear him make noises in the ring, they're just grunty. It's very guttural.
I like when they talk.
Don't say I like when Derrick Lewis talks me through it.
I mean, I like when they talk in the octagon, but yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Me too.
Pause. No diddy.
No diddy. He's such, we keep saying it, but he is such a sweetie. If you listen to his fighter interviews, he's kind of like a humble, like nice, down-to-earth guy. And my favorite types of fighters are the ones who are very stoic and not very showy. And although I love the entertainment of like Sean O'Malley and Ryan Garcia, for example, I love the very just masculine, going in there to fight, getting out type fighters. And I feel like Derrick Lewis is kind of like that.
He's funny though. He's entertaining. Like he is. He doesn't seem like he's trying though. He is just,
oh, that's the thing. Derrick Lewis is just naturally funny. He's serious every time he's saying something, and it just ends up being fucking hilarious. But he's dead ass. He's not joking at all.
I aspire to be that funny without trying to just say whatever authentically comes to mind. Yeah, but speaking of heavyweights, what is interesting is if you notice, UFC women's in general, like any women's fighting, there's not as many weight divisions as the men. UFC has 8 for the men and 4 for the women. So we've never seen a woman over 145 pounds in that octagon.
No kidding, really? 145? That's low, right?
Small.
That's super small.
Yeah, unless you're really short, maybe. But you know,
wow, it's interesting.
I would be flying away at 145. UFC talked about, or there was rumors, or it was kind of a conversation in the MMA community about UFC introducing a heavyweight division for women, and like if people would want to see it or not. And a lot of people were saying it would be harder to find women at that weight because they were like, I think the assumption is for the true fatphobic people, like, oh, well, if they weigh over a certain amount, that means they're not in the gym. But that's not necessarily true because a lot of weight has to do with your height. Mm-hmm. So like for me, you know, like when I train boxing, a lot of times I've had to spar with men because we're just more similar in size. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because I'm tall, I'm 5'10", so that automatically puts me into a different weight. I absolutely would be a heavyweight. I'm 180 pounds. I aspire to be a middleweight.
I aspire to be fairy weight,
But it is what it is.
20 ounces.
I wouldn't quit. Not the fairy weight.
I want to be 20 ounces. Just
Yes,
like,
we're gonna launch the first fairy weight division. Be the champion. I'm sure it is harder to find because most women aren't tall. It's not the average height. Like average height of a woman is like 5'5", I believe, or something like that.
no, but there's still, I don't believe there's a shortage of tall women who want to get into the sport. There's tons of women who are super tall that are bodybuilders. We see it in other sports all the time. Maybe they're just not as interested in combat. That's the only thing that I could think of. Oh, my pretty face. But no, I think the only other thing that would be a problem is that in order to be a heavyweight, we'll go to the extremes. In order to be a heavyweight as a woman, you would have to be juiced. Unless you're super tall, naturally you have a lot of fat on your body, and then you've been training like crazy, you're still going to need to be on testosterone.
Well, I don't think that, but I think to be a woman's heavyweight, you either would be overweight, which, okay, some of the guys are who are heavyweights. They're not all just big muscle men.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you're just really tall, which might not be as common. So I don't know. I think it's possible. I think it's kind of a fallacy like, oh, there's just no women heavyweights. I think maybe the men don't want to see it because they still want to be able to like, whatever. I don't know. That's a conspiracy I just made up right now. But.
On the fly like that.
Yeah, but like where the average woman is over 145 pounds. So why are they not existing in fight? Why are they all so little? Is that like somebody decided that along the way, and then maybe it might be time to change that since the average woman is higher. And it's not saying that they have to be fat to do it. They can be muscle women. They can be tall women.
But I think the average woman is also bigger than 145, or they weigh more than 145 because of the fat that they have on their body. I don't think there's just a bunch of shredded women out there. Of course there are, but I don't think there's that many shredded women over 145 that are making up that statistic. So it'd probably be hard to find a woman who's cut at heavyweight, right? Probably not impossible.
It depends on their height.
Definitely depends on height.
But definitely over 145, maybe not heavyweight.
Oh, yeah.
Over one heavyweight is like 179 and above.
Yeah.
So, but over 145, that's easy.
That's easy.
Easy.
You don't even have to be tall for that.
They can add a couple more weight classes.
Are they going to?
I don't know. But yeah, I looked it up. I would still be a heavyweight. That's okay. I don't fight in the UFC.
That's yeah. No relevance.
There's no correlation.
Yeah.
But just based on my like past childhood trauma about quitting wrestling for being a heavyweight, I wouldn't quit now. I think I would like to fight one day boxing, just once. You know, there's so many shitty influencer boxers right now, and while I don't like to watch that, there's still obviously an audience for that. So even though I'm not watching it, it would be okay to participate.
Why not?
You know?
You could probably be pretty good at it too.
Or like an amateur, you know, just...
Yeah, absolutely. But that'd be fun. We should do it together. We didn't be in the same weight class, but it would be fun. That'd be super fun.
I'd be curious just once to give it that level of dedication.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't quit for being a heavyweight, even though I aspire to be middleweight. No, like it is what it is. I love and accept myself in all the sizes, even if I wished it was different.
You could have 2 belts too. Just both.
Yeah, weight classy. Like Amanda Serrano. Speaking of Amanda Serrano, the highest paid woman in all of boxing, she has another fight coming up. Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor 2. The rematch. It is on the undercard of Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
No, I didn't know this. Okay, so I don't really watch women's fights, so you're going to have to educate me on this, and I really need to know about Amanda being the highest paid.
A lot of this can actually be attributed to Jake Paul, which is something that I think he really needs to get his flowers for. He really came into the scene, and not only did he champion for himself, which is what people focus on, but he championed for women because women were paid so dramatically less than men. And so he took Amanda Serrano, who had this wonderful record, wonderful fighter, but he gave her the marketing push that she needed to be a star because she's like very much like she's the real fighter. Like she's not on her phone. She's not doing antics.
Right.
Her head is in the game, but he really elevated her with the resources that he has to get that kind of PR surrounding fights. So he had her headline Madison Square Garden with Katie Taylor. They're the first women to ever do it in history.
Wow.
Sold out, broke records. amazing fight. So they're going to run it again.
No kidding. Do you know who won the first one?
Katie Taylor.
Ooh.
Amanda's super cool because she is a 7-division world champion.
But she's a boxer.
She's a boxer, yes.
Oh.
Yeah, Jake Paul. MVP, boxing.
Duh. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm looking at her record.
She did MMA before boxing, though.
Her record is 46-2. 30 of those being knockouts. She's incredible.
Yeah, and Katie Taylor is the undisputed world champion. She did win that fight, but Amanda Serrano is still very, very much goated. And then after that fight, I don't know exactly like the specifics, but somehow through Jake Paul and his like activism for women's fighting, Amanda became the highest paid woman boxer in history, and she's paid like equal to the men, which is
No way.
breaking. Yeah.
That's incredible. I'm looking at Katie Taylor's record as well. She's done pretty much half as many fights. She has 23 wins and 1 loss, which is still an incredible record. Super good. 6 knockouts out of that. Not quite Amanda Serrano, but...
Right. So I really wanted Amanda Serrano to win. I don't know if it was like the Latina in me or whatever.
Yeah.
And also because she was a little bit of an underdog in terms of she's like flying under the radar. She's under-recognized for her achievements. She deserves her flowers. And so I give Jake Paul so many props for like helping her receive that. So I wanted to see her win. She didn't. But so now they're going to run it again, number 2, which is sick. And
do it.
But this time it's on the undercard because Jake Paul is the main event of that fight with Mike Tyson. Obviously, Mike Tyson has to main event.
Of course. But that's kind of come full circle that they're on the same card together.
Well, Jake Paul put himself on the undercard of her fight last time.
That actually makes me... That's so sweet.
Yeah, they're fully like this. They're like squatted up. Like that's his boxer, you know?
He took her under his wing.
Yeah, I mean,
she's obviously a really great fighter, but oh my
She has
God.
way more experience than him. So I'm sure there's in ways she's probably taken him under her wing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Experience-wise, but they both kind of had elements of what each other needs. So it's like a beautiful combination. It's really like a beautiful story.
Relationship.
And it doesn't get as much focus because a lot of the focus is, oh, he's a YouTuber boxer, but he's done so many great things for the sport. That's why I am not a Jake Paul hater. I was not a fan of him like in the YouTube space. I was never into that like Team 10, whatever. That was not for me. I started paying attention to him through boxing, and I assumed the same things that everybody assumed in the beginning, like, oh, this is silly. It's going to be a joke. I thought it was going to be like Misfits boxing. No offense. But full offense. Like, okay, let's be real. I'm not a like instant hater. I didn't think I was interested in Misfits boxing. It sounded dumb, but I'm like, I don't want to be like an old head who can't like move along with the time. So I was like, oh, well, let me watch this. It was unbearable.
Yeah, I can't.
The worst fighting I've ever seen in my life. Full jokes. It's like people who should not be fighting. Like people like, did you even train? Like it's just bullshit. Like I guess it's people who just want to see influencers in the ring, and that's fine. But I do actually love the sport. So for me, it's like, why would I watch a worse version of something that I love when every single week I can watch the good version?
Yeah, I can actually watch a sport that I enjoy versus some influencers beating each other up in a terrible fashion with no strategy and no fight IQ at all.
It's not for me. And even if you're a fan of someone, like I don't like celebrity boxing either. Like,
yeah, I don't.
Blueface versus blah, blah, blah. I don't like Blueface, but that's just one that comes to mind. Yeah. Let's say I liked him as a musician. That still doesn't make me want to see that. I want to see them perform music if I like their music, right? I don't need to see them in the ring.
Right. If I like somebody for the art that they're doing, I don't need you to step outside of that box.
It's not for me. I get that it's for some people. It's not for me. I don't know if it ever will be. Jake Paul, I made the assumption it was going to be like that. But he just became undeniable if you're paying attention. Over time, you're like, oh, wait, he's taking this serious. He wants to be the real deal. He might not have as much experience. He might be in bigger fights than his experience would warrant. You're like, okay, you're not at this level, but that's just what happens. That's the privilege of having clout, is you don't have to. Why would you start all the way at the bottom if you don't have to? Of course, he's going to put himself right on a pay-per-view when he doesn't have as much experience as some guys that we've still never even heard about who are way better boxers. That's just life.
I've never had a problem with that. If you have an advantage, you should take it. Why not?
Yeah. So it is what it is, but he is taking it serious. He takes the art, the sport
Right.
the dedication.
Yeah, he is not making a mockery of the sport at all.
He is doing the entertainment aspect of it in the press and using social media to his advantage, but he is training like crazy. He's got a good team.
Right.
So I don't hate on him at all. Through his boxing, I became a supporter. That doesn't mean I think he's the best boxer in the world.
Right.
But I respect him. And he's not bad, you know? That being said, Mike Tyson at 60 years old, I still think takes him.
Oh, honestly agree. And I know that sounds really insulting to Jake Paul, but it's Mike Tyson. Oh. Can they see the shirt?
It's Mike motherfucking
Stone Cold
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
60 years old, yes, but have you seen the videos of him training recently? Like,
He looks good.
he can go.
He is locked in.
His cardio is looking phenomenal.
Yep, absolutely.
And Jake Paul too, but that's like the advantage Jake Paul would have over him. Youth, cardio, speed.
That's what would do it for him, because all three things that you just mentioned, those are huge. We can't lie. The cardio is going to be big. The speed is going to be really big. Do you know what their weights are at?
So his last two fights, I believe he fought at cruiserweight, but then he was saying that he was looking to move up in weight to fight Mike Tyson at heavyweight.
Okay, so cruiserweight is between 175 and 200 pounds. I'm sorry, I am not well versed in boxing. Okay, so they were before, but now they're going to be heavyweight, you're saying?
Listen, I never know all the math of the numbers of whatever. I cannot retain information.
That's boy math.
That is for the boys. I'm sure some guy can rattle off this weight is this many pounds with this one. I don't know that. I know what the divisions are, and we're lucky that I made it that far. But yeah, Jake Paul, his last two fights, cruiserweight, looking to fight Mike Tyson at heavyweight. So the claim would be that he would have youth, endurance, cardio, speed.
Huge.
But Mike Tyson's experience, a whole lifetime of experience to still be that good, still be with it, still be sharp.
Right.
And we posted on the Sports Bimbo page a side-by-side speed comparison, because I was considering that when I was trying to think of my prediction for this. And Jake Paul's speed, even however old he is, 27, I don't know, I'm making it up, but his speed is nowhere near Mike Tyson now at 60. Mike Tyson is still killing it with the speed. And obviously, I'm watching social media clips. I'm not watching like 12 rounds of boxing. I'm watching like 30 seconds, 1 minute. But his cardio level looks good. So unless he's getting winded in the later rounds, he's got almost everything but youth. I'm seeing his cardio, his speed, his experience, his fight IQ, his power.
Yeah.
I can't imagine like how Jake Paul outsmarts that unless just something about his youth gives him an advantage.
Mike Tyson is going to sleep Jake Paul. I'm calling it right now. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm Mike Tyson on this.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jake Paul. I'm a supporter, but
even though we just talked so much good about you, love you, what you've done for the sport.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And even if you have never watched the sport before in your entire fucking life, everybody knows who Mike Tyson is. He's a legend. He's a legend for a reason.
Right.
I mean, the only reason Jake Paul is even facing him is because he's influencer status. I don't think it's because of his boxing skills. Not that he's not good, but I think it's only because of his celebrity status.
Well, Mike Tyson is old to be fighting, to be fair.
But
that's the claim that everybody makes. Like, oh, he just he just fights older or retired boxers or MMA fighters. But generally, he's fought a lot of his wins were against MMA fighters, and as similar as it is, it's not the same. Anderson Silva was an older MMA fighter, and he had not been very active, so that was a win for Jake Paul. That one made more sense to me. Nate Diaz, I hated seeing that because I love Nate Diaz, but Nate Diaz is an MMA fighter. Is he one of the better boxers in MMA? Yes. Is he someone that actually trains and spars with actual boxers? Yes.
Right.
But he's still, at the end of the day, his experience is an MMA. His experience is still MMA. And I think that's, if your brain is focused there, there's just going to be a nuance that exists. And he didn't seem like he cared about that fight. I think he severely underestimated Jake Paul. He's like, fuck this guy. He's not a real fighter. I'm going to smoke weed and show up and get a paycheck and it's all going to be good.
He should have never underestimated Jake Paul. That was his first mistake. Everybody always says that. Why would you do that? I understand his thought process. Oh, this is just some washed up influencer. I don't need to worry about him. I'm the fighter here. Ooh.
But now Mike Tyson is a boxer. He is like the boxer.
The boxer.
He's one of the greats. So is he older? Yes. He's a boxer. So Jake Paul did lose to an actual boxer, to Tommy Fury, which is Tyson Fury's little brother. So the last time he went up against a real boxer, he lost. So I think he loses again to a real boxer, 60 years old or not. That's really what I think. Mike Tyson. And I'm glad for that because honestly, as much as I support Jake Paul right now, I think that would be embarrassing, humiliating for someone as legendary as Mike Tyson to lose to Jake Paul, which is nowhere near that status. Like he has a lot of way that he needs to work his way up.
Maybe he has. Maybe all this training that he's been doing recently has put him on par with him. But
that's just the fighters that he's fought. He's not at the level of respect, like in fight world. Like,
no, definitely
like
not.
Who have you fought compared to Mike Tyson?
Yeah,
that's not the same. Well, I just think that would be so horrible to go out that way. 60 years old or not, like horrible. I don't want to lose to Jake Paul.
I would not want to lose to Jake Paul, but let's do a hypothetical here. Imagine Jake Paul does win. You are immortalized as beating Mike Tyson. That's huge.
We'll never hear the end of it.
Never. And it doesn't matter that he's 60 years old. Nobody is going to really care about that when they hear Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson, period.
The critics will always find something.
They will, but Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson, period.
Well, they'll say, oh, well, it's just because you only pick old fighters, blah, blah, blah. But on his side of things, all day, every day, it's going to be like, I'm the guy
I'm him.
that beat Mike Tyson.
I'm Himothy. I beat Mike Tyson.
While we're on the subject of heavyweights, I actually have, or maybe I had, I'm still trying to figure it out. I've been having a big fat crush on a heavyweight.
Of course, it's going to be a fat crush. It's a heavyweight.
I think we've touched on this before. We don't really thirst watch the fights, but sometimes there'll just be like a little moment that you notice about someone. Whatever. I don't know what happened. I don't want to get too into the details of it, but
it's funny because as I was researching heavyweights that we discussed today, I noticed this person's name and I was giggling to myself.
my soul. Something about this particular heavyweight, I just started to think like, he is cute.
Like, it's cute.
There's just something about him that is adorable and I want him to love me. And I'm pretty sure he is single. He does know who I am, but I don't know.
Honestly, I can't blame you because I am also madly in love with a heavyweight in my personal life. So they have a certain charm on us.
Anytime he wants to make me a sandwich. I mean, anytime I want to make
him a sandwich. Wait, my bad.
Anytime he wants me to make him a sandwich.
Yeah.
I'm trying to shoot my shot.
Okay. So you have been talking?
Yeah, I've talked to him.
Yeah, I've spoken to him before in the past.
I exist.
All right. That's good. That's big progress.
I think he knows I have a crush on him. Mm-hmm. But like, I want men to pursue me.
You need to be so obsessed with me that you would chop your arm off the first time you lay your eyes on me, or I'm not interested.
Yeah, I don't want to chase a boy. So I'm like, I'm shy about it. So I'm trying to like, put it out in the universe that I have a big fat crush on a heavyweight.
We're manifesting. We're throwing it out there. Whatever sticks.
And as long as he's actually like as good of a guy as he seems like, He
seems like a sweetie pie. I just fucking love heavyweights. They're all the biggest teddy bears. They're always the sweetest guys ever.
I think he's cute. I think he's a good fighter, which is to me, that's like when people are good at something that's attractive, Mm-hmm. I haven't seen any like controversies or anything like that.
I haven't seen any controversy about your dude either. I don't think he gets into controversy.
Yeah, so I like all that. Like, he seems like a big, strong, manly, quiet guy, and
it's the masculinity for me.
Yeah. Oh my God. I wish he would fall in love with me, but
we're casting spells right now.
Yeah, I haven't been getting any sign that he's picking up what I'm putting down. So I might be over it soon because I'm not going to chase a man. He knows I exist.
He's busy. Is he a good fighter? You can be honest about this. I don't actually know.
He is a good fighter, but he has been losing lately. So
rest in peace.
You know, if he doesn't fall in love with me, I'll just use the last few losses to give myself the ick.
Man, that is tough for him. That should be motivating for him.
You better win or
you better win. That's good. That would put the pressure on me. Men thrive under pressure. He needed to hear that.
What about you? Do you have anything going on lately?
Ooh, I have a lot going on lately. I don't know how much I want to talk about on here. So I live in Vegas, and I recently moved out of my house, and I'm going through some really big life changes, including Sports Bimbo, of course.
Yeah, starting a podcast.
Starting a podcast is huge, obviously. Moving is huge.
You're busy.
I'm booked and busy, but more on that some other time. I'll keep it nice and mysterious for now. Make you come back for more.
I think we were both a little mysterious with that, like, personal life section.
Yeah. I feel like I need to see how you're the same way. We need to see how things develop a little bit more.
Historically, you know, heavyweight hasn't been my thing. I have been
Little boys?
I've been with a lot of guys who are more on the lower body fat percentage. A lot of abs in my day.
No kidding, really?
Yeah, I love a guy that's like in the gym.
Oh, I love a man that's in the gym, but you know what? I love dad bods. Oh, yes.
So I
Big on dad bods.
I don't know. It's not something that I like pursued. It's just who you meet along the way, and that's just happened to be who was.
Of course, yeah. You're not like searching for it, but when you do see it, you're attracted to it.
But so that's been the pattern. Like a lot of really fit guys, but
Quite fit, love.
a couple years ago, I had sex with a fat man.
I love fat men,
and I loved it. So now I'm looking for
fat men. Love me. No,
I'm looking for. I don't have any type, but I'm single, and I'm looking for. I'm looking for a man. This is my dating show now.
I'm single. I'm looking for a fat man.
I mean, anyone who's nice and wants to treat me right and is good at things and successful or ambitious, you know, all that. But I'm open to a lot of possibilities.
I'm open to a big range of body fat percentage.
All the weight classes. Well, that's not true.
No, I
have
can't.
Weight classes.
I can't do. So I realized this when I was younger, because obviously women hold fat in their body differently than men do. We have our little childbearing hips, or big childbearing hips, I should say. But if I'm sitting next to a man and his thighs are smaller than mine and I got thick thighs, I can't do it.
Yeah. Okay. I think I need middleweight and above.
Yeah. No, definitely. Because imagine you're sitting on their lap and you feel like you're breaking them. And
you wouldn't do like a machine gun Kelly. Some of those like little tall skinny guys are cute.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah, would. Yeah, I think the moral of the story is I don't think I actually discriminate, but at this moment in time, I'm a Scorpio and I'm loyal. So even if it's just a crush, we don't have to be dating. You don't even have to know I'm alive. But if that's who I'm fixated on, I'm loyal to you. Like, I'm monogamous right now in my head to this heavyweight.
No, I definitely am. That's the thing. We are a little bit delusional. But you know what? I love that trait about women, because I feel like most women are like that. Even when they just start crushing on a man, they are loyal to him through and through. Men are not like that. Not at all. But women, they see a man they like and they're like, you don't even know I exist and I am yours.
Yeah, so I'm in my heavyweight era. Mm-hmm. This or better.
Yeah, no, I have
Waiting for something to come along.
I have to, yeah.
But it looks like it was exciting at first, but it looks like it's fizzling out. That there maybe, I don't know.
You know, I'm not just talking about your romantic relationships with fighters, but you have a lot of just...
Well, I don't have a romantic relationship with a fighter.
No,
I've never dated a fighter.
Right. This would be the first, right?
The first.
But I am saying you have platonic, very friendly relationships with lots of fighters. You've been in the industry for a long time, especially wrestling as well. So it just kind of makes sense for you to be around these kinds of people. It just makes sense. You should be dating someone who's not interested in it, at least.
This is not like a Ian Gary's wife situation. I'm not writing a book, How to Be a Wag, nothing like that. I'm not specifically chasing, but this is what I'm around and common interests. And I feel like someone with that lifestyle that we would understand each other's life and what we're dealing with in our work and things like that. And it's just what I'm looking at a lot right now. So it's just like, I'm noticing things and people are noticing me.
It's a big part. I mean, it's kind of your whole life in a way. It's kind of my whole life in a way. So it would just make sense to be in the same space. That makes the most sense. I don't know if I could be with a man right now who is not into MMA. Even just watching it casually, I don't think I could. I think
I'm on the dating apps, and that is something that I am concerned about. I say it because I think people are going to think that I'm weird. I've had guys ask me out. I even put a screenshot of it on Sports Bimbo where they're like, do you want to do this tonight? And I'm like, I can't, I'm watching the fight. And I'm like, so dead ass. Like, I can't miss this fight. What do you mean?
Their response should be, oh, I'll watch it with you.
Right, but you'd be surprised how many of the men in LA, well, I'm on Raya, so maybe I need to switch the app or something.
Bougie. That might be it.
They're not into this, so it's just like, I'm just missing out. I'm like at home watching fights alone.
Yeah. They're too busy being Hollywood men. Try like Hinge or something. I used to do that for a while years ago.
It's like, it doesn't need to be fighter, but at least someone who would be willing to at least watch.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Really helpful. Otherwise,
just willing to like your hobby. Sorry for cutting you off, but willing to be interested in your hobbies at all is such a green flag, because I would do it for any guy. Let's say you're into like bird watching. Dude, I'd be out there with binoculars tomorrow for you.
Facts. Yeah. But I don't think I'm surprised by the amount of people that don't think that is like a fun activity.
Why would it be? And then men, they're full of testosterone. You don't want to see two dudes just...
I see it on the internet all the time where the guys are like, oh, I wish I could find a girl to do this and that, or my girlfriend. So I don't know where they are.
They're out there.
They're not in LA. I'm trying. It's been hard for me. I always watch alone. I don't meet anyone. If I do, they already have a girlfriend.
It's okay because I'm your boyfriend.
Yeah, now I have you to watch fights with, so that's good. But yeah, someone in that world or adjacent. That would be a dream. They don't have to like it, but it would be a dream if they already were and we could be excited about it together.
That would be fun, and they know lore already. It would also be fun though to teach them stuff and show them a sport that they don't know anything about, and you get to woman-splain it to them.
That is kind of funny to me when I do know more than a guy about stuff like
you know more than most
the woman.
You know more than most men about MMA and about combat sports in general. You absolutely do. You could have really intellectual conversations about it because you know so much.
Yeah, there was a guy I was talking to for a year, as you know, a year that I wasted. He knew nothing about this, and I would beg him. I would be like, please, and it was so silly. I have texts from like, will you please at least just watch the main event?
No, wait, I didn't know that.
I would say that, and he would never do it. Like,
I didn't know this. He wouldn't watch them with you, or he wasn't interested in it at all?
He doesn't really know anything about it, and I would ask him, because I'd be so excited about something, and he is the main person I talk to all the time, so I'd be like, will you please just watch the main event of this fight? And he would never, ever do it.
My heart just broke into 10 million pieces.
And I would be sad for myself. I'd think, this is some guy's dream.
Right.
Some girl that like wants to watch the fights, and it's just like been so hard for me. Like,
right.
The worst luck with that.
All the men on Twitter who are like, where do I find a woman interested in this? Right here. I'm here. She's waiting for you. Yeah. You told me to make a sandwich. That's why we're not together.
You told me to shut up.
You told me to shut up and that I'm a bimbo. And I am. Thank you.
That's it for today. Thank you everyone for listening to the Sports Bimbo podcast, brought to you by the Bespoke Network.
You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, and all our other social networks at Sports Bimbo. And please leave us a 5-star review, whether you like us talking or you just like to look at us with no volume on. Wherever you get your podcast, leave that review. Bye for now.